Look at that greenery. Just another sunny day in the Philippines. Man, they got a lot of bunch of high mountains too. People actually live in the mountains over here. This is crazy. Look at that view.
Jeez!
What's up, guys? Prince Sports here. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. I want to talk to you guys about the effects of super teams in the NBA. Now check this out. You got Chris Broussard and Rob Parker, right? They was on their little radio show talking about, is it good for the NBA if Giannis Antetokounmpo joins the Lakers, okay? So the media is out here trying to push Giannis on the Lakers as if LeBron has enough help. Why would you need Giannis on the Lakers for? What possible reason would Giannis serve by playing on the Lakers? It's just utterly ridiculous, okay? You guys, it gets to a point and you got people trying to push James Harden to the Nets. Do you guys want to compete? You know, what's the point of competing against each other if you're all going to play on the same team? You know, it's kind of corny. You know, this whole super team era kind of started with LeBron James when he went to Miami Heat, even though the super team before that was the Boston Celtics, you know, realistically. But LeBron James made it more commercialized. So the media is sitting there trying to boycott, or not boycott, sorry, trying to promote super teams. You know, how is that good for the NBA? You know, then you got some people that sit there and say, well, you know, the NBA was a different era when Jordan played, you know, blah, blah, blah. Listen, I don't care if it was a Stone Age era. Did Michael Jordan join the super team? Yes or no? The question is no. Period. He could have been, he was a free agent. He signed with the Bulls for 7 seasons. He could have easily packed his bags, go and play with Hakeem Olajuwon, Karl Malone. Okay, there was guys leaving teams back then and still going to other teams. Charles Barkley formed a super team with the Phoenix Suns. They got to the finals in the very first year. He teamed up with multiple superstars to get to the finals. And it took Jordan to average 40 plus points to beat that stacked Phoenix Suns team. All right? So keep in mind that you don't always have to have a stacked team to win. You know, you just have to have a good team around you to beat a stacked team, okay? So now back to these super teams. LeBron James' biggest legacy is going to be known for stacking the deck, okay? Player empowerment is going to be one of his biggest legacies. And that's going to be something that he's going to be known for. You know, in the LeBron James era, this era that we currently in basketball, actually, this is not his era no more. It's becoming out of it. But the impact of LeBron James influencing Kevin Durant to go to the Golden State Warriors, mainly because the media is so harsh these days. They put so much emphasis on the championship that they kind of put these players in a bind that, oh, I got to win a championship by all means necessary, even if that means winning a championship in a dishonorable way, in a way that's less respectable, okay? No, LeBron James did it with the Miami Heat super team, did it with the Cleveland Cavaliers super team. The minute Miami Heat got old, LeBron James went to play with another all-star in Kyrie Irving. You already know he was. He saw what Kyrie Irving was offering in that all-star game, so he went to go and play with him. Then he pushes a trade to trade Andrew Wiggins. Remember all those tweets that LeBron James was doing, leaving Andrew Wiggins out the picture? And you already know Andrew Wiggins was going to be traded for Kevin Love. You already know it was coming. And the NBA said the Cavaliers had a big 3, meaning that's a super team, period. Okay, so the concept of a super team is 3 all-stars or more, according to Jalen Rose, right? According to the media. So if LeBron was playing with 3 all-stars, that's a super team. Then you add all the former Hall of Famers that LeBron James been playing with. That's even more stacking the deck, okay? So miss me with that. It's same thing with 2014, okay? You let a guy in Kawhi Leonard, who was still a baby, put the clamps on LeBron James, period. Every time Kawhi Leonard guarded LeBron James went into passive mode. He went to passing the ball. He went turnovers, all this other stuff. Yeah, he averaged 28 a game, but that was a lot in garbage time. So those stats don't really mean that much. That's actually the fine definition of stat padding. You know, you're getting beat by 20 and you got your star player in the game padding his stats. So when they lose, he could still say, I have 28 in this game. That's stat padding, okay? He did the same thing this year, stat padding in the very final game against the Miami Heat. The game was already won, but you didn't have enough points to equal up to your triple-double average. So you had to go and play when you was up by 30 points already. That's called stat padding. I didn't have too much of a problem with that one because of the simple fact, if you're the other team, you got to put a stop to somebody's stat padding. You don't like nobody stat padding on you, then do something to stop it. But it's a big difference, the vice versa, when you're stat padding and you're losing. Okay, when you go back into the game and you're losing, you're getting blown out, sit your ass down. As simple as that. All right? There's nothing other than longevity that states that LeBron James over Michael Jordan. That's it. Prime for prime, Michael is better than LeBron James. Okay? Take this in consideration. All right? You got guys like Giannis rumored to be going to the Lakers. You think that's good for the NBA? So you mean you're going to have three top five players all on the same team? And that's somehow good for the NBA? Really? That'd be a worse super team than the past super teams that he had. You know? You guys got to stop making excuses for LeBron James when somebody's telling the truth. It's as simple as that. You know, he played with stacked decks all over. Every time he went to the finals, outside of 2018, he had a stacked deck. The most impressive finals run that he had in recent years was going to the finals in 2018. No Kyrie Irving. All he had was a sidekick in Kevin Love, and he was able to get to the finals. And look how hard that was. He was hitting game-winning shots, okay? So he knows doing it the hard way, oh, man, I can't do this. I'd rather just stack the deck and have a bunch of players on my team. You know? It's less respectable when you have to win championships that way. Now, I give you credit when you win your championship, you know, no question. But at the same time, there's levels to this. There's levels to this game. You can't be winning championships and if your team is constantly stacked the deck and just expect to get full credit for it. Now, just imagine. Let's take this in consideration. Imagine if they really land Giannis, all right? Because technically they can land Giannis Antetokounmpo if they want to. They just have to move a lot of pieces around, may have to get a third team involved. It'd be a little messy. They'd be a little depleted, but they deserve to be depleted if you're getting Giannis Antetokounmpo, 3 top 5 players all on the same team. But you guys stand for this. You guys actually root for this type of stuff. You have people on ESPN and Fox Sports. What player could LeBron James get to take him over the top? He just won a championship. What you mean, take him over the top? He won a championship in a very impressive way. 2 All-Stars and role players, and he was able to win a championship with those guys. That's not good enough for you? That's not impressive? That's one of his most impressive championships, even though it came inside the bubble. But you know what? I don't penalize him for winning the championship in the bubble, because if he didn't, he'd have been getting thrown under the bus for it, period. So all of this super team stuff, it started with LeBron James shifting that power of the NBA. You know, having players take their destiny into their own hands. Is pros and cons to that. The cons of it is basically the fact that you could tell a GM or a franchise what to do, when to do. And that's kind of corny. That's 100% corny, because when you lose, you have to take a bulk of that credit, you know? Now, you notice the East is a little more competitive now that LeBron James is out of it, because they don't have LeBron James stealing most of the talent and pitting on his team and depleting the rest of their conference. So now that you have it spread out, the talent is spread out a little evenly more. But you could say the same thing is about to happen to the West, okay? Because you got 2 6-Man of the Year candidates on one team. You got a top 5 player in Anthony Davis. And now y'all talking about putting Giannis on the team? How much more help does LeBron James need to win a championship? Don't he got 4 championships already? Even though 90% of your championships came at the expense of you forming super teams, period. Okay, you won championships with multiple All-Stars, you know? And you guys want to lose, oh, some of those Hall of Fame players were on their last leg. Well, guess what? He got beat by a team on their last leg in 2014. How you explain that one? The only guy that was an X factor was Kawhi Leonard, putting the clamps on you. Period. Prince Sports out. Peace.